Okay. Are we back? Oh, so weird. I don't know why it just dropped. I've been doing like weird glitches with like my OBS, like my Streamlabs recently. Or like the software has just been dying, the program. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. We're back, we're back. Just gonna be live for another 47 minutes anyway, so we'll just finish up shining on this charm. You know, we'll just get a quick shiny and then we'll call it there. So, I mean, easy peasy, right, guys? Thanks for those joining back. Sorry for the disconnect there. The YouTube stream is going to be a whole different link, so apologies for that. Oh, what's up, Ryuk and Brave Soul? What's up, guys? Welcome back, or welcome if you're here. Okay, should be fixed now. Sorry about that, guys. I haven't seen like any execute encounters here. My #1 shiny priority, I mean, I guess Munchlax technically, but like, I don't like to hope for rare shinies like that. I just hope for, it's a great Rotom. It's speed, but I also like slow Rotom. Yo, what's up, Ani? How you doing today? What's up, gamer? Yo, Devin, thanks for the Twitch Prime, dude. If that's a new alert, I can't tell if that's... Thank you so much, man, for 3 months of Twitch Prime Arenas, dude. Thank you, gamer. Hopefully the content's been helpful enough to warrant that. My alert box and everything... Wait a minute. Wait, everything's... Man. Streamlabs is glitchy, dude. Okay, it should be fixed. Alert box is back on. Okay. Sorry for no alert on that. There we go. Should be fixed. Is this insane to hope for Shroomish no phase? No. Definitely. I'm going to be honest. No, it's pretty insane. But I respect it. By far, Breloom. Better stats. Sorry about that, SAT. What's up, man? My space bar will die before I finish Unifo. That's a good way to put it. That's a fucking creative. Wow. Kind of a good meme. Yeah, Breloom's way better. Parasect's just slower. Worse stats. Damp Parasect is good to have. Like, hidden ability access Parasect is a really good catching Pokemon to have one created, though. Is it insane to wish for pseudo sub 65? Apparently. That's what I've... Apparently, yes. In Team Mister, that's what I've heard. Apparently that is too much to ask for. I appreciate it, Devin. Thank you so much, dude. It's always an honor to hear, man. You know what they say, everybody needs to make Pokeyen. Just making money. If you Google Pokemon money making tips or Pokemon money making, there's a million videos and guides on it, man. In the videos and the guides you'll find on it will be like way better than just like one-off tips I can offer in a stream, you know? That's more video content versus stream question. Mega Zarder X or Y? X look-wise? I think X for sure. I use Y a lot in Pokemon Go because it's really good for fire rating, but... people are egging them, I feel like, Amanu. We've been really weirdly unlucky about getting those. Late stream today, internet went down. I'm just continuing the previous stream, Shag. But what's up, dude? Happy to see you. What's the shinies you're hoping to end the streak with? I mean, something I want. At this location, Execute or Munchlax. There's a lot of fails here, unfortunately. Or the elusive Moltres, I guess. The funny thing is... Okay, do you want the real take? If I run into Moltres, I might actually just run. The funny thing is... Yeah, I actually think... If I run into Moltres and it's not shiny, I might just run from it. Because I'm on my shiny charm. It's not worth to, like, waste the time of my own charm trying to catch it. Because it'll take like 15-20 minutes. Hilarious. I gotta like try to quick ball it or some shit. That's kind of funny. Hilariously, I probably run from it, and then I probably try to catch it again if I encounter it at the like heightened rate or whatever. We'll see if that comes up. Super worth the catch and sell? Probably, but like I'd rather like try to go for it again. I promise, if I run into a Moltres and it's not shiny, I'm gonna run from it. Unless there's like 5 minutes or so left in charm, then maybe I'll touch it. We'll see. We'll see if it happens, if I have to make that decision. Sell for more charms? It sells for what? 1 charm? Like, and the odds of me running into another one before the end of the month is way high. That's the real reasoning. Like, your odds of getting it again after you get it once is so high. I'd be banking on that technically. Valid, yeah. That's the thought process. Man, I really don't want to Pidgey or... There's so many fails at this spot, which sucks. Kano shunt spots just have so many fails in general. Maybe Shag. Giving away... I'd be open to giving away Patrouski OT legendaries. That's kind of a cool one that's like... Well, not that, like, not my first call ones, but second, like, extra call ones. Honestly, that's kind of cool. I'm kind of here for that. I don't like doing giveaways generally, but we'll see. Yeah, check the Togekiss swarm if people want. It's going to catch, honestly, for Pokeyen. Yeah, for sure. It's for sure, Charles. I always say, like, dude, the day Johto released, I feel so bad for the devs because, like, imagine, like, you release Johto, right? And day 1, people are saying, like, okay, like, when's Gen 6? And it's like, dude, you just got you just got an update. You just got a new region. Like, it's annoying for sure. The Pokemon community is overall incredible, 100%. But there's definitely, in any community, especially it's gotten worse over the past few months or so, or over the past like year or two, because we've grown a lot. So like as the game grows, you're always gonna have a loud minority, right, of people just like complaining and being negative, and yeah, you have to just ignore them, push past them. The best way / the only way to get ROMs to legally play PokeMMO is to dump the files off of cartridges that you own, okay? So legally acquire your ROMs. That's what we all did, right, chat? Otherwise, you can't play PokeMMO. Asking me for links to illegally download ROMs can get me banned in the game, can get my stream banned, can get me in legal problems. Please don't ever do that. A lot of people come in here and do that. It's like the one rule in PokeMMO is you can't ask people for ROMs. However, on an unrelated note, in a different vein of conversation, totally unrelated to the previous statement, Google is really powerful. It'll amaze you how many people don't use it. Google is very powerful, and AdBlock is a very powerful way to stay safe on the internet. There you go. I don't know what it is with... I feel like, I don't know, man. Google's so good. For Googling PokeMMO Guides is what I mean, is why it's good. Is it Kalos soon or trolls? I don't think so. I think it's people. Well, it's not people who think Kalos is coming soon. It's more like people who want Kalos, and it's just like the funny thing to say. They're not really trolls. They're not malicious, you know. I have a video talking about my thoughts on it. Charles, a lot of people don't realize that PokeMMO already made the jump from 2D to 2.5D with Fire Red to Sinnoh, and like from GBA to DS. A lot of people like the jump from DS to 3DS is greater, but it's a jump we've made before. PokeMMO released and it was only Fire Red. We saw the physical special split together. You know, we saw all of the new generations Pokemon. We saw Garchomp being added. I think people who are newer players super underestimate how much PokeMMO has changed already and how much it's changed in the past from adding new regions. I don't get why like Gen 6 would be the one that it like stops at. It makes no sense to me. We don't know for sure. I appreciate it, DT. I thought so as well. Yo, what's up, Metal? Happy to have you, dude. I think it, yeah, I don't think, yeah, I think people think it's harder than it is just because of, I get why, like mentally I get why, like you think of a jump from 2D to 3D as being a big deal, but it's actually a jump from 2.5D to 3D, which is not as big. 100% Charles, which is a bummer for sure. Yeah, what are you gonna do? You just try to ignore him. Thankfully, it seems like the devs are more focused on end game content at the moment and like pumping out like raids and maybe dungeons and other stuff along the way. We're more focused on end game content right now versus new generations. Exactly, DT. I appreciate it, dude. I love catch events are fantastic. I think catch events are kind of get lost in the sauce and kind of get underrated because I don't do very many catch events personally nowadays. But dude, like every beginner / middle level player, I really recommend catch events. Like number one, they're super fun and there's something to look forward to. And then number two, you can make Pokeyen during them, meet new friends, meet new teammates, players, socially bond. And you also have a chance at an overarching prize while making like decent Pokeyen, usually like 50 to 150k per catch event, you know? It is so much I like actually hard prefer genderless breeding. It's so much faster. Oh my goodness, it's so much better. Like Porygon, for example. Catch events are super underrated. When is that Yanma catch event? I super should do that. I literally just did a video covering all the catch events. The 17th, I super should do that Yanma one. I'm lucky enough that I've been able to win 2 catch events. Now, I probably participated in 100 catch events before winning my first one, which still might be lucky statistically. It's hard to tell. Yo, fair, JM. But I've won another one pretty soon after. I won 2. I've probably done around 120 catch events, and I've won 2, which I think is actually pretty good. It took me a long time to win the first one, but even that still might have been lucky. It's hard to tell. If you Google catch events explained PokeMMO, I have a video on them. Rush people. I honestly don't have much of an opinion on Gen 6. I haven't played them. I've only played them once or twice. That was the last gen I played. I've never played Gen 7, 8, 9. I played some PvP, like Showdown for those, but not much. Yeah, yes. So that's I love that point. Charles, so like the jump from 2.5D to 3D is actually way easier than the hardest part about balancing Gen 6 or implementing Gen 6 is that the storyline inherently relies on megas. So I feel like you do kind of have to implement, like, it's yeah, like that's a tough thing. 16th, thank you. No, this is a great event. I really want to do this. When it's at 11 a.m. I might go live early to do that. It's such a good event. I might try to go live early that day to do that because that's Shiny Yanma is such a fucking hard shiny to go for, dude. It's so tough. So I like literally like copy paste that sentence, German. That's what I always say. I'm a huge fan of just buffs in general for weak Pokemon to make them better, but like, why do we give things like Scizor and Garchomp megas? Even though Garchomp's mega was like worse than his normal form, right? Like, but I don't know why. Yeah, why give strong Pokemon stronger forms? I don't get it. Rayquaza, lol. Charizard getting 2 forms, lol. Oh, just for the hype aspect, I guess, of it, right? Should I just go back to Berry Forest or should I switch up spots? I really don't want a shiny here, man. Aside from... Oh, man. I don't know. I really don't like... A lot of the fails here are just so brutal. The song is too wubby. I'm going to skip it. I'm gonna switch. Should I? I literally can't decide. Absolutropius 120. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do that. I don't think you need... Blastoise is not essential. Like, Blastoise... I think I say in my video where the gym... Blastoise helps you do 2 gyms. That's it. Not essential. Having something in the back to deal with Flash Fire mons is essential. You could use anything though, like Crocodile or whatever. Yes, if you have 2 Typhlosions, man, I would 100%... I would just start learning Jimmy runs. Just learn the route. It's that you nailed it, dude. They absolutely could do that, Renair. 100%. 100%. Which is very cool. Yeah, that's... I haven't even thought... Gen 6 is already such a... I haven't thought past Gen 6. It's also possible we see Gen 7, 8, or 9 implemented before Gen 6. I feel like nobody talks about that. I feel like nobody talks about in PokeMMO how it's very possible we see Gen 7, 8, or 9 implemented before Gen 6. Like, they've never gone in chronological order. Wow, double Absol encounter looks nice. They've never gone in chronological order. Like, they literally went Gen 1, then Gen 3, then Gen 5, then back to Gen 4, and then back to Gen 2. They really just implement whatever region is the easiest for them to implement due to, like, the storylines and other mechanics within that region themselves. It's very possible we see, like, 7, 8, or 9 before 6, but that's, once again, a new region is, like, 8 to 10 years out versus raids and dungeons are on the horizon. I've done that rerun a few times, Ryuk, but it's so hard. It's so hard to learn for it's actually worth it. Not anytime soon, Marak. I don't see a reason to. I also just don't have a huge interest in Nuzlocke. They're very cool. They're just not my favorite way to play the game. Sorry. Yeah, I literally, like, I have no idea. I would just never speak on which might be the best, Chuckle, because I just have no idea. Yes, that's like the main thing. Like, I think endgame content's the most important updates, and I think everybody agrees on this, and everybody knows this. Like, endgame content is the most important thing right now. Giving players some sort of designated activity to go do at endgame. A lot of players just need that for whatever reason. I don't need that, obviously, but a lot of players do. And if that's what's best for the game, that's what's best for the game, you know? Any language? I really liked, I took a class called Flex in 6th grade, which you spent 1 quarter learning Latin, 1 quarter learning, you weren't meant to, like, learn the languages, but you were meant to, like, get a taste of each of them, which I really, really enjoyed. So you did, like, 1 quarter of Latin, 1 quarter of French, 1 quarter of German, and then I think 1 quarter of Spanish. I really enjoyed French. Was my favorite language to learn a little bit of. I only remember, like, the only thing I remember is, this is probably very wrong, but like, Je m'appelle Patrick, comment t'appelles-tu? Is like the only thing I that's probably wrong. That's the only thing that I, like, somewhat remember. But I really, really liked French. Seemed very, very cool. I don't remember any Latin, none at all. French was so fun, but yeah. Well, from 1 year of French, yeah. French seemed very... French was so pretty. Like 6 ways to say it in French? Fuck. The weirdest thing was just like learning every other language compared to English. Like everything is gendered, which you don't think about. Like if you only know English, like everything in it's like Spanish, right? Like everything is like fuck, what's the gendered ways to say them? Yeah, it's just weird. Like every other language has like gender in their speech, which is so weird. As an American, only knowing English, you would have never would have popped up to you. Yeah, it's so weird to tie that in. It's interesting. Actually, it's Jean-Paul Gregory. Yeah, true. It's so interesting. It's weird. Speak Polish too. Polish seems like a really tough language. Maybe I'm fucking dumb, but that language seems tough. I had a friend who was learning English ESL teaching, so like English second language teaching, and she lived in Poland for like a year. Jamapel? I don't know. I don't know, dude. Yeah, like yeah, I don't know why it's so. It feels very funny in Manu for sure. Okay, this spot is underrated. Let me take a second to actually talk about this spot. This spot is super underrated. It's very, very cool. This spot has, if you pop a lore, this spot has Absol, Marshtomp, Etleon, and Tropius, which is, this spot is very underrated in my opinion. Very, very cool. I think you could also Repel Trick for Absol, but I usually just pop lures and free ball it. And there's also C-Dot. I love C-Dot. Top 5 hardest, yeah, that's crazy. Fix the link names. Okay, that's actually a fair request. You know what? I respect that, chatter. I respect that. Good call. That's just a good call. We got a baseball chads in chat. What about GTL bots? No, because they aren't really a problem / a thing. GTL bots are a conspiracy theory pushed to give a reasoning to why you lost a snipe versus you lost to another player. It's the same as like Shiny Lock. GTL bots and Shiny Locks are both like, it's not a conspiracy theory, it 100% is. Now, are GTL bots a thing? Probably, yeah, to some extent, but they way minimally affect the game than people think, right? Yeah, so you're gonna give me anecdotal examples of like why you think GTL bots are a thing. I don't think they are. It's possible I'm wrong, but like anything that isn't proven statistically is technically a conspiracy theory, right? So like unless we're seeing like proof, statistical proof of like, hey, this is how many GTL bots in the game, it's a theory, right? No, that doesn't inherently mean it's bad. It's fine. It's like there's nothing wrong with thinking that is a problem, but I don't. So you're gonna link me an anecdotal example, right? Of like a video. Yeah. So this is anecdotal. This doesn't mean anything, right? Which is fine. It's fine to like have that theory and disagree with me, but this doesn't prove anything, right? GTL bots are very much, they're probably a thing, but they're very minimal, right? When someone says like, hey, can you do a video on this thing? You're talking about it being a problem, right? You're talking about like, what a Potter would say. True. Yeah. Yeah, true. I'm trying to cover it up. That's the second level of conspiracy theory. It's like Shiny Locks, right? Shiny Locks aren't really a thing. They kind of technically are, but they only exist for people who sit on Route 1 for 50 hours and like mostly they are bots, right? Like, everybody like mad about like, oh, Shiny Locks are actually real and the devs lied about it for years. And it's like, no, you're totally taking this out of context. Like if someone says, hey, I'm 60,000 encounters dry, I'm Shiny Locked frowny face, and the devs say, oh, Shiny Locks don't exist, like that's not saying they don't exist at all. It's saying they don't exist in that way. And trying to take that and twist it on this, like if you sit on Route 150 hours, like this becomes very conspiracy theory, very like assuming the worst brained possible. The really boring thing in life is that the most boring answer is usually the likely solution. I'm sure GTL bots are a thing to some extent, but are they a problem in PokeMMO? Not in my opinion, probably. Like, yeah, I don't like that people use GTL bots as a scapegoat to be like, oh, that's why I missed that snipe, and that's really annoying to me. I think it's really there's just we are in. Okay, this is like, sorry, I'm gonna say this really quick. I'll get off it. We are in the most victim-heavy state I've ever seen in the fucking world. But I'm super young, so what have I really seen? I'm 26, right? What do I know? I am vehemently pushing against this victim narrative. Everybody wants to be a victim nowadays, more than ever. It's never been worse than how it seems so bad. Because we are in the best time to be alive. Like, we're in the safest time, like all these things. And when you're in that, you have too much time to think and too much time to worry, and everybody just has to find some way to make themselves a victim when, like, life could just be good. Humans generally want some big scary. It's really easy to have some big scary bad guy and be like, that's why things are bad. That's why things are like, that's why I feel bad. That's why all my negative emotions come from like evil, come from like this big bad scary thing. It's just too, the really simple answer is that it's probably just simpler than that. Like, there's just no, I really, really vehemently despise this victim era of humanity where like, oh, I missed a snipe, must be GTL bot. Oh, no shinies, I must be shiny locked. Like, I fucking hate it. I hate it. Yep, sorry. It's like literally the most frustrating thing to deal with. I heard Pokemon rival. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Something I've learned is to just try to appreciate when life is good. Life will give you plenty of hard things to deal with. You don't need to, like, create things, right? That's generally what yeah. There's some glitches with the bots, they lose to faster player. It's very, once again, sorry, I'm not trying to, this is not all directed at you, Menace. If you think GTL bots are a decent issue, that's totally fine. We just don't have data one way or the other. So thinking it's a decent issue and like what scale is the issue is like a really interesting discussion. If you think no bots are on the GTL at this moment and you might be missed. So this is such a good example. So Nair, do you see what you just did? I've been saying for the past 15 minutes, I'm not saying there aren't no bots. I'm saying that they aren't a big issue. And you strawmanned me, right? You created an argument that I'm not making and that no one else is making, and you're fighting against it, right? I've made billions on GTL. So now you're trying to make an appeal. Like, that's awesome. I'm really happy for you. But now you're trying to make an appeal to you're on the defensive when you haven't even, no one's arguing with you, dude. No one is saying there aren't GTL bots. The question is, how big of an issue are they and at what scale, right? Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people think you're the bot, Nair. Exactly. But how do you, so wait, I've spent thousands of hours on the GTL right now in the last 2 weeks. I've seen IVs, Instabot. How do you know this? Like, it makes me like, how do you know this? Of a discussion, that's okay. I don't know. It's very possible. Isn't human? I don't know, man. It's tough to judge. I feel like it's very possible that GTL bots are a problem. It's all about scale. Like, no one is arguing that there aren't any GTL bots, right? No one's arguing that. That's always like the straw man. The question is, how much of a problem are they for the game and how much do they hurt the economy? And it's also hard to like quantify that level of scale, right? Like, how many trades a day do we think are happening with GTL bots? I'd probably say, I would guesstimate. We don't have stats on this. This is just guesstimation. All of our numbers on this are going to be guesstimations based on anecdotal examples. Probably less than 100, less than 1,000 trades a day from GTL bots, which in my opinion is very low. Like, extremely low. When like every other free-to-play MMO is botted to the moon. Yeah, I'm sure that there are, once again, clips and anecdotal things that exist. The problem is, like, how big of a problem is it, right? True, JM. Pricing a 2x31 Ditto for 20k. That's just other flippers, my man. Like, that's the craziest example. Like, I have seen this. This is actually really funny. I've seen this so many times where someone in global chat will be like, LMAO, like, I missed this fucking snipe because there's a bot or some shit. And then someone in Team Mister will link it to them in global chat and be like, no, that was me, dog. Like, I don't think people realize that, like, things like ping, things like, yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's once again, it goes back to like, oh, why did I miss that shiny flip? It's certainly not because I'm bad or because I was slower or because some things just didn't line up. It's because it must be a bot. And I just, I really don't like that. I'm sure flipping bots or GTL bots are a thing. I don't think they're a huge problem. I don't like that they become this boogeyman of like, everybody just blame bots. It couldn't have been that I was too slow. It must be a bot. It can't be that I'm not good enough. It can't be. Or it can't be that my timing was just off for whatever reason. Like, people are just really fucking fast. People are really, really good. Once again, I don't know, dude. That's just flips, man. Like, I do this all the time, Menace. Yeah, yes. People don't realize how many people play PokeMMO. Like, there's probably tens of thousands of people looking at the GTL at any time, ready to make flips. Of course, that's when someone analyzes and sees underpriced, it just insta buys and sells. Of course. This has been the case since the GTLs existed in 2015. Yeah, yeah, a small, yeah, exactly. Like, the question becomes, how big of a problem is it, right? Yes, I love that sentence, Dryafizz. The idea that your situation is completely unique, and yes, I really, really like that from everyone else. Yes, I don't like that. I super like that. Humanly possible. You'd be surprised at how fast people are. No, wait. You don't know that, firstly. You can't analyze that by just watching the GTL. And secondly, you'd be surprised at how fast people are. I think people just don't realize how mechanically fast people are. People are really fast. If you go watch someone, like, actually, yeah. I would love to see the devs put out a statement on GTL bots. Like, that's really the only way this would ever be solved. Or, yeah. I would love to see that at some point. More fast wink wake. Real. There's an interesting, like, there's a lot of like interesting, it sucks because there's a lot of interesting discussions to be had about it, right? But I feel like we get stuck on like the surface level stuff, and that really frustrates me. Like, a really interesting question becomes like, are GTL bots harder to detect and ban than normal bots in PokeMMO? I don't know. That's an interesting question. Is that why they're like a thing talked about? I don't know. There's a ton of more interesting questions to be had, but I don't like the I just don't like the fear mongering that stuff like this causes. There are some really good conversations to be had, but it sucks that like bringing up GTL bots at all. I don't like talking about that stuff because then it just people just use it as scapegoats. I really like to avoid that at all costs. It's the same with the shiny lock stuff. I don't like even like bringing it up. I try to avoid it because then people like, oh, like I get comments every day. It's also just tough because I see like the worst side of the community at times, right? With people being like, the amount of times I get YouTube comments about people being like, oh, I was unfairly banned from the game of blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, I'm just here to make guides. That's not my, forte, right? The amount of times I've had people like attack me in comments for saying like the game's bad and that's, all the, what I'm saying? I see like people being like, oh, like I must be shiny locked. I must be only not getting flips because of what's it called? The best side I see is in chats, YouTube chats, Twitch chats, live stream chat. Live stream chat is awesome. I love streaming. YouTube comments are where things can get dicey. YouTube comments are probably like 50% really nice people just saying, hey, this video was helpful, which is fucking awesome. And then it's probably the other 50% is just people either incorrectly backseating or complaining. I super agree with you, John. That's that's a super fair and interesting sentence. Are GTL bots gonna become more of a common thing, and are they becoming a little more common because more people are playing, therefore they become more profitable because of the more listings? That's a great conversation. Like, there are a lot of interesting conversations to have about GTL bots, but I almost don't even like having them because I don't like that it facilitates people using them as scapegoats, and that really annoys me. That's tough. Unironically true, Jay. It's crazy, like, I always say, like, it's really set. I feel like the internet is just so negative right now. Everybody's so negative and pessimistic, and it's just fucking brutal, man. I think we have to do a lot of, like, learning about how to engage with social media as a society. I love social media. I think it's a fantastic thing. There's a drastic amount of negatives to it. A lot of people think that social media is more a net negative to society, like more negative than good, which I think is a fair opinion to have. Like, I think I get it. I'd argue it's more positive, but it's easy to focus on the negatives and only see the negatives for sure. And I get it. What was I saying? But like, everybody's so negative right now. It's crazy. Like, I always say, like, if you watch any like content creator, or like Instagram is really bad, like Instagram shorts or whatever, it's just, everybody is just mean. And I would say, if you post a video of a bunny eating a carrot, someone will say something like, oh, you should have peeled that carrot first, it's actually bad for them, or like, it's immoral to own a pet bunny because you have to keep it in a cage all the time, or like, it's just always focusing on the niche negative versus being like, oh, this is cute. Like, ooh, it's crazy. Yeah, pretty. I've liked a lot of your fucking sentences. Pretty much, Dyro. I think social media is a fantastic thing, but I think we're using it incorrectly in a lot of ways. I think we have to get better at, like, and we're like the first generation. Well, not me, but like the generation younger than me is literally the first generation to like grow up with social media, right? So we're just learning. Like, we are just learning. We are like noobs when it comes to social media, and we're learning very fast. We have a lot to learn. But yeah, Instagram is horrible. It's really bad. I hate that social media site because it just it being picture based just makes it more shallow, right? I would argue it was worse back in the day, DT, but maybe it's the spaces I'm in now versus the spaces I was in then. I don't know. Like, I would argue it was worse, but it's definitely, it's always tough. People are always more openly hateful in general online when there's no, face-to-face connection. As someone who thinks that social media is a positive, Slayer, a net positive, I literally, like, I can't even, like, disagree with that sentence. I could get it. Like, I'm not, like, I don't know. As someone who I think Insta is the worst, I super agree. As someone who, I'm only on it because Casey, when I got with Casey, she used it. Yeah. Remember when memes were funny drawn faces, good times? I miss it. That's a good meme. I think it's done a bit of both, right? Like, it's definitely, well, no, actually, no. I guess that sense is just true. It has just removed the human connection. I think we've lost so much emotional intelligence. I don't know. We've also, it's like impossible to say any negative about the internet without saying, oh, it's also had a positive impact on that exact thing. It's really hard. Yeah, self-esteem is probably the worst. It's like one of the biggest negatives. As silly as that may seem, but like, society's general emotions and general feelings is probably the most important thing. So if everyone's self-esteem is getting fucked, that's brutal. And Ganatan. Yes, I love that point. I think it's a realistic counterpoint, Ryuk. I think it's gotten better. I agree. I like that. Yeah. Fuck, you're so sweet, Amado. Like, I don't know. There are some. I think it really comes down to we have to learn. We just have to learn how to use the internet better. We have to, like, have the self-control to actually do it, which is tough. Humans and self-control generally don't go hand in hand, myself included. Like, I'm not trying to There is no above the law for me here. Like, what's the most nostalgic for you? Wait, like what thing? Like what's the most nostalgic thing in general for me? That's a really hard to answer question. Oh, PS1 games are up there. Pokemon Gen, probably Fire Red Leaf Green. My first game. I have no idea how people survive before like 1880. One little injury could just die 100%. Dude, something I was on a walk with Casey yesterday, and I was talking to her about. So this is, I will admit, this is anecdotal example. I don't have a stat on this. I don't have stats on this. This is anecdotal example and experience from my life. Let me really clarify that. But I feel like the mistakes that young kids are making nowadays aren't as bad as the mistakes that were made like in like 2 generations ago, right? Like growing up, so my dad grew up on a farm and his whole family grew up on a farm, and like both sides of my family are very like farm people, right? And like they're big hunters and fishers, right? Which I'm not really. I love fishing's honestly fun, but never been hunting, but whatever, right? And there are so many men in my family missing fingers. It's like a huge thing. Like I think my recent grandfather who passed away like 2 or 3 years ago, he was missing like both of his ring fingers. Multiple of my dad's brothers were missing multiple fingers. Just because of like fucking snapping turtles, like snapping turtles on a farm, getting your shit stuck in like a wire or a deer on a farm, or like growing up. Like it's actually so funny. Like how like if you made a mistake growing up, I feel like you like lost a finger or like died or like had some crazy injury or whatever, versus like if you like fuck up nowadays, I feel like you like get canceled on Twitter, which like I mean, you know, mentally and emotionally and socially can hurt, but it's not, I think it's not as bad, which is a good thing. That's progress. That is progress. That's not like a, oh, you know, that's a good thing. Boredom creates creativity, and creativity creates workflow and productivity. Interesting. I don't know what boredom is anymore. I somewhat agree with this. It's like this is tough. Well, I super agree that people don't know what boredom is. I think people know. I think we're getting. I do like that. People haven't forgotten about boredom. Dude, for me growing up, being bored was literally the worst emotion. Like I would have rather been depressed than bored. Like because like if I was depressed, I could at least play fucking video games, right? But if I was bored, I was fucked. I feel like I don't know. I feel like bored was the worst emotion growing up. Like that was, I didn't want to be bored. It was like I don't know why that's the most painful thing as a like hyper teenager. Like being bored is the worst thing. I think it's an interesting point. I'd have to think about it a lot more. Slayer. I like that. Going for Absol. There's a bunch of really cool shinies here. Kecleon, Absol, Tropius, Marshtomp. For sure. Dryo, for sure. Something that helped me a ton when I was in my younger 20s, now I'm 26, so I'm nice and old. But like when I was like 19 to 21, I used to do dopamine fasting. It doesn't really help long term, but I really liked it short term. So dopamine fasting is like, where's that torture? Yeah, dopamine fasting is like, you can't, no electronics, no, you're basically just meditating. Is like the boring answer is you're really just meditating. It's like no food or drink. You only can have water. I would dopamine fast for like 6 hours or something like that. I'd wake up and I would like, so I used to like do intermittent fasting. So I'd wake up and I'd intermittent fast and dopamine fast. No electronics, no lights. That's an important one because you get like dopamine from like light, which is kind of extreme, but you only do it short term. And it kind of just like, if you dopamine fast for like 6 hours a week, every other part of the week you're gonna feel so happy. Because like, it's basically like, it's a chemical way to like experience break of acclimation. I feel like probably one of the most important things in the world right now is breaking acclimation. I feel like everybody, like, we have it so nice all of the time. Everybody has like, not everybody, right? But like more than ever in society, we have like cushy desk jobs. We fucking chill at home. We go to work, we come home. Most of us have access to food. Most of us have access to a roof over our heads. We don't have to go hunt our foods. I don't know. Like there's so many comfort things we have nowadays. Most of us don't have to worry about like heating and cooling all the time. Like we're always at a comfortable temperature. There's a lot of like really like considered basic physical things that like our needs are met on. And I feel like we just like acclimate to, we don't have enough discomfort in our like day-to-day IMO. And this is also just a personal, like, find what works best for you and work on it. This is just a personal thing. I like including like small bits of discomfort in my life, like whether that's like cranking the cold water in the shower. Like cold showers like are like a, you know, scientifically viewed thing that can be helpful, right? I'm not good at it, but modern day embrace problem. I love the modern world. I love the era we're in. I really do. It's fucking better than ever, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. A lot of positives and negatives. Embrace 8 mode. Yeah, true. Auto shifting trend, so dumb. I don't know what that. I mean that's a big thing right now. Is everybody's like, we're living in different realities for sure. Like it's easier than ever to like literally. It's easier than ever. Or you're rewarded more than ever in society for being delusional, right? Because you can just like hop down a YouTube rabbit hole and have everybody and meet like 20,000 other people who are also delusional, right? And then you're all like in the same delusion, and it's like, oh, okay, this must be real then. If this many other people believe it, then it's probably real. It's easier to be deluded than ever. Synthetic happiness. Yeah, we have more access to instant dopamine than ever. I think that's just a true statement, right? We have more access to instant dopamine than ever before, for sure. We have to like. That's why I really like games like RuneScape. I really like games like PokeMMO. Like it's really important to have things. Short-term attention span stuff is fine, and doing that is fine. But like, it's really important to have some things in your life that are long-term progress and long-term attention. Dude, nice, Rumel. Is that the first home run? Yeah, fuck, that's awesome. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a hilarious way to put it. Super, but yeah. Shift reality to Harry Potter. That's hilarious. Most of it. I think 6,000. Even though people told it is. Fuck. 6,000 of these encounters were ×5 hordes about, and then the rest were single encounters, eggs, and Ninkata. Yeah, I super agree, Slayer, but hopefully we just have more. Okay, I will say, I don't know. People say that it's not as bad as it's pretty bad, but it's not as bad as people think. I think that people still do have attention spans, but for different things. Because we see like TikTok and Instagram shorts and YouTube shorts, and they're like LMAO, like only short form content, like that makes brain go boom, blah blah blah. But at the same time, movies are getting longer, right? Like every fucking movie now is like 3 hours, and a lot of people sit down and watch them. A lot of people fucking go to movies and like watch movies and sit there for 3 hours. So as much as like we can say, like, it's funny, what's probably really happening is like short-term content is getting shorter and higher effort, and then long-term content is getting longer and higher effort. It might just be, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's okay, but have always existed. Okay, they've always come on. You know what I'm trying to say. There are movies that have always existed, but like it's way more common, right? If we look up like average length of movie over the years, I could be wrong. I haven't looked up stats on this, but like just anecdotally, it feels like movies are getting way longer. I know horror movies are still like hour and a half or some shit. I think in some ways it's misplaced, and in some ways there's real. I think it's like, dude, my stream is so boring because you're never gonna hear like any extreme takes on my stream, except for League of Legends is the worst thing ever invented. I mean, I do have a lot of hot takes. It's funny because it's funny. My stream is like, I'll have hot takes on like food and like very aggressive takes on, but anything serious, I'm like, yeah, I see both sides. Anything serious, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think like, there's probably some fair concern there and some misplaced, and but you know, it's like, it's why yo, what's up, man? I like the name, Aegislash. It's why a lot of people say like, oh, like this newer generation doesn't want to work at all or some shit. And I feel like there's like some of it I get, some of it I don't. Like I think this generation is probably the most coin flip. There are like more entrepreneurs and more like self-driven, self-employed people than ever, which is really impressive and really cool. And that takes like 16 hours a day. I think that there's more hyper-driven people in this era, and there's also more lazy, barely scraping by. Which, like, barely scraping, but being sufficient at your job is fine. I have no issue with, like, people who, like, go to work, don't really talk to anybody, kind of just get the job done, go home. Nothing wrong with that. There definitely are a lot of people who are, like, doing under the bare minimum. Like, dude, I will go to, like, certain places or restaurants or stores, and they'll be like, yeah, I don't want to... I'll hear them talking to their other employees and just be like, yeah, I don't want to do this. You go do it, man. And just, like, shift off responsibility on other people. Oh, there's, like, some really shitty... I don't know, man. It's tough because like I see a lot of both. I see a lot of literally like the hardest workers we've ever seen, and a lot of like grind. If you don't have 2 jobs, you're fucking trolling. Like sigma. Like money is the only thing that matters. Like we have a lot of that, and we also have a lot of like what's it called? Bare minimum Fridays and mooch off your jobs Monday and like I mean yeah, I don't know. Yes, I like that point a lot. Yes, 100. We are more privileged than ever before, Shuckle. Yeah, 100%. I really like this. This is like a huge way to like just stay positive. Is to realize like how gifted we are. This is like this is like really simple, but I feel like if we just like this is like the most like you would tell this advice to like a 5-year-old, but it's kind of true. Like. We constantly are looking at what we don't have as opposed to what we do have, right? And that does 2 things. It, number 1, makes us feel really shitty and really terrible for all the things we don't have. And then number 2, drives us to have a lot more progress. So we're like we had like the industrial age, right? We're in like a tech age or some shit right now. We're in some sort of age, or like mental health age. I don't know, man. We're in a weird time to be alive. A good time. But probably a tough time. Is baller in comparison? It really is. It really true. It really is. It's everybody says like, oh, it's getting worse and oh, it's so bad right now. In a lot of measurable statistical ways, it's better than ever. It's getting better. But that's I guess that's like an interesting talking point or an interesting like dynamic, right? Why is it statistically better than ever, but people feel worse than ever? That's a really interesting question. And that's tough. Job really good to you, but today we lived a high life in the past. The cost of living has never been higher. I see some stats that support this and some stats that don't. It's tough. I don't know. I don't want to get too political. Raise heads a bit. That's for sure a factor. House. We shiny hunting here? Yeah, for sure. How many encounters? Yeah, how many encounters? I don't know. I don't know if that's I mean, it's kind of a funny thing to think about, but I don't know if that's like a telltale. I don't know if that really means anything, but it's a good bit. It's a good bit. Pretty funny. It's funny to think about, but I don't know if it really means anything. I don't know if that's yeah. Yo, nice Chuckle, huge. To question current society, dude. I always say this has always been my style of content too since I was like 18. Is like I play a lot of games like PokeMMO and RuneScape, right, which are like pretty AFK games in the background, right? Like a lot of what I do is I just like do an AFK. Well, I say AFK, but like I mean like, you know, simple grind, and I just talk to chat. We just have conversations. Like we end up talking about a bunch of different stuff. Expose themselves as amazing, compare themselves to it. Yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure. Yep, for sure. I super agree with that, Kojo. What's the? I mean, this is like, once again, nothing I'm saying is like revolutionary. This is all stuff that we kind of all know and understand, but it may not be talked about as much, but it probably also is. I don't know. I don't like that, like, we see the best of the best, like the top 1% of people at the top 1% of their lives on social media, and then we compare like our day-to-day to that, and that's like really, really sad to me. Like, it's just the amount of times I see women like with no makeup on and just like waking up and just like trying to live their fucking life, and then compare themselves to this girl who's in a photo shoot with fucking a spray tan and with fucking professional photographer and with professional lighting and with all, and then like, and it's like, dude, like, I don't know, it's really sad. Like, and this is true for men and women, like, just like with like bodybuilders and shit. Like, it's such a crazy. I wish more content creators, I wish more models and bodybuilders would like show their setup, show the photographers they have, show the cameras they're using, show the fucking ring lights and the lighting. Like, really interesting. Yeah. Howdy live people, what's up, dude? I love it, Charles. Anyways, thank you guys for an amazing stream today. It's been a ton of fun. I've been live for around 4 hours or so. I'm going to go ahead and call it there. This was a blast. I really enjoy it. Like, you guys make shiny hunting and grinding like this much more fun. Hopefully I can do the same as your background content. Like it if you enjoyed it, dislike if not. Subscribe to the channel for daily videos. I upload every single day. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you're interested in that. And then if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal/Venmo are linked down below. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy PokeMMO. Peace of Reno. I will see you guys. We're going to raid someone on Twitch. And Gamba, I can't? Yes. Ugh, the big doubter. Shiny, I love the fuck Q question mark close is so good. I didn't even notice that. I think Rumel made that. I love you for that. We're gonna raid someone on Twitch, guys. Raiding someone on Twitch, it's a really nice way to make someone's day. Like, unironically, like, I love raiding people and just spamming smiley faces. So make sure to do that. You guys have been incredible. I love you all so much. Have a great day. Play Pokemon. Have fun. Just try to look on the if I could like say one ending thought, just try to focus on the positives in life. There's a lot of negativity out there right now. Focus on the positives, and counting our, for lack of a better word, blessings is super important. So I'll see you guys later. Much love. Peace of Reno.